This is 93.5 CHMR FM.
Sunset Flip Wrestling presents, in association with the And I Quote Facebook page, Ring Rust on 93.5 CHMR FM.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
To make a request, call 864-7935. Add 709 if you're calling long distance. Or email fanboy@markjabroni.s5.com. And that was Run DMC from WWF Aggression. That was the Kings for D-Generation X. Confirmation that we are both in fact white. We were enjoying that song a little bit too dorkily. This is Fanboy Mark Gironi, and I'm joined by my special guest. Introduce yourself.
Blair Galton.
Longtime friend of mine from... How long have we known each other?
Oh my goodness. Must be, more than 15 years?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
From the old Doctor Who fan club?
That's right. Not much on the go with that anymore, is there? Or...
No, they amalgamated with the Star Trek club and then kind of dwindled.
Okay. Well, that's a shame, but...
Yeah. But this is about wrestling, so let's talk about wrestling. The last wrestling show we saw,
yeah.
I don't know about the last wrestling show you saw, was SummerSlam 2008.
That's right. Where I'm overseas, unfortunately, it's not that easy to actually see it. Over in Germany, this is going to sound unexciting and dull and boring, but it's really difficult actually to get to see the shows. Not many bars or places have it over there. But 2008, I think, was the last one that we saw, yeah. So,
a lot's happened since 2008.
I can believe it.
In wrestling and in general.
For sure.
Some of the people on the card from SummerSlam 2008 are still wrestling, and some of them aren't. Some of them are even still with WWE.
Okay, so which ones are still with WWE?
10 of the wrestlers featured in the 7 matches listed here on Wikipedia for SummerSlam 2008.
Wow.
Are still with WWE.
And has their standing improved since then, or has it gotten worse?
Some of them, their standing has improved. Some of them have slipped a little bit, and some of them are sort of just leveled out.
So, what do you mean by petered out? Do you mean like they've really gone downhill, as you'd say, or is it more a matter of they really haven't pulled up their bootstraps, I guess people would say?
Well, WWE seems to have different opinions of what particular characters should do. Like, for instance, the first match they had for SummerSlam, actually, was The Big Show versus Bam Neely.
Yes, okay.
But that was a dark match, so we didn't actually see it.
No, that's right.
And I mentioned before we came on the air that we'd be forced to make fun of somebody. And that would be Bam Neely. One of his nicknames, the Human Fence. I don't know why. But he is an SDW World Heavyweight Champion 3 times, and currently, apparently, SDW Television Champion, an OVW Southern Tag Team Champion with Charles Evans, and ranked 296 in the top 500 singles rankings of PWI in 2008.
Wow.
So, maybe we shouldn't make fun of him too much.
Probably not. We don't want to be body slammed.
Yes. We don't want to have Justin LaRoche come and beat us up.
You wouldn't want to have that before breakfast, that's for sure.
Also known as Magnus Maximus, Hellfire, and Hellraiser Guts.
Okay, the name Magnus I've heard before.
Yes. A lot of people have used the name Magnus.
I guess to greater or lesser success.
Yes. Even one guy here locally used the name Magnus.
Ah.
You probably saw him Saturday night. He's now known as Don Martini.
Yes. That was actually quite a good match. Quite a good match.
Well, we'll discuss a little bit more about the Cutting Edge Wrestling show from this past Saturday, because you were there. Unfortunately, I wasn't, because of the snow would have precluded me from getting home, because the buses would have been off and I would have had to walk. So
yeah. Well, I actually really enjoyed the matches. I mean, it's good to see local people out and wrestling and doing absolutely fabulous moves. Actually, some of the moves made my jaw drop. I couldn't believe I was actually seeing it.
Yeah.
And I was really pleased. It was very entertaining. The audience really got into it and enjoyed themselves. It gave me actually quite a respect for the people in the ring trying to do those moves, because if I imagine just somebody off the street coming in and trying to do the same thing, they'd probably end up in hospital.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, sounding like a broken record, it gave me a lot of respect for them, because it shows how hard they have to work to learn to do these moves and how to fall properly without injuring themselves. And it's a testament to their hard work and their love of the sport that they're going out there and giving it their all to give an enjoyable show to their audience. And as far as I'm concerned, they did a good job. The audience was really entertained and they had a good time. I'd definitely go and see them again.
Well, that's good. It's always good to, say, I'd like to come see you guys again.
Oh, yes. I mean, I've seen, overseas I do a lot of theater, and what I saw there, even though it was sport, it had a theater feeling to it. And, that's just my personal viewpoint. I really enjoy things when they have a theatrical flair to it. And that was definitely present. And you could actually see the passion of some of the wrestlers. You could actually get the feeling they were actually... the crowd fired them up.
Yeah.
And that's what you like to see. It's the interaction between the wrestlers and the audience also helps. I mean, of course, like we all know so well from various shows we've seen, some wrestlers don't care if you boo at them or insult them. It actually, some of them, it just eggs them on even more.
Yeah.
Right? But of course, that's part of their story, their backstory. But yeah, when the crowd really loves what somebody did, then that's a wonderful feeling to hear the applause and see the reaction. I remember one match I saw, the crowd was actually quite lukewarm towards the wrestlers when they came in, but by the end of it, the people were standing up and cheering.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
That is a very good sign, and that's the type of thing, in my opinion, what wrestling needs. It needs to involve the audience and get them all fired up and enjoying themselves and coming back for more. I believe that's the secret. Always leave people something, always leave them wanting more, wanting to see more. I think that's probably why they do a lot of cliffhangers in wrestling. That's why they lead it all up to the big pay-per-view event. Fabulous. Like I said, you should definitely go out and see the next show.
Yeah, definitely. Wherever you're listening to this show from, if you're actually listening from Newfoundland, or if you're listening via the website at www.chmr.ca, anywhere around the world, go find a local wrestling promotion in your area and go check out one of their shows.
That's right. I'm sure you'll have a great time.
Yeah, and there'll be hundreds, and depending on the size of the promotion, maybe thousands of people there enjoying themselves as well.
That's right. Sure, I remember many, many years ago watching Sailor White wrestling down at the old Memorial Stadium.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, that was wicked. He'd bring the house down. He'd just walk out, the place would go cracked. Fabulous. Some of my fondest memories are of watching Sailor White. Amazing.
Yeah, I don't think I actually ever saw, not live anyway, I never actually saw him wrestle.
Oh, you'd be blown away. Amazing moves, very fluid, very passionate wrestler. Again, my theatrical background, I'm kind of biased.
Yeah.
I love theatrical stuff. Like Ric Flair is very theatrical.
Yeah.
I find, and I think that's a good thing. You either love it or you hate it, but it brings things to the table.
So we'll talk a little bit more about the CW show a little bit later. Right now we'll go back to SummerSlam 2008 and get you caught up a little bit on who's doing what. We were talking about the Big Show before we got a little sidetracked there.
Yeah.
Bam Neely and stuff. The Big Show recently, a couple of pay-per-views ago, actually won the world title.
Oh.
And then about 30 seconds later lost it.
I guess his show wasn't so big after all.
Well, he lost it to the guy who won the Money in the Bank match.
Okay.
Or SmackDown side of things, Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
Big Show had just finished a match with Mark Henry.
Right on.
Who was the champion at the time of that match.
Okay.
And Big Show beat him for the title, and then Daniel Bryan came down, cashed in his Money in the Bank number one contendership.
Okay.
And beat the Big Show, and now he's the champion.
Big Show now number one contender, or is he just waffling in the...
He's up towards the number one contendership, yes. So he's probably like the top 3 or 4 maybe on SmackDown.
Okay. So has his style of wrestling changed at all, or is it still the same?
He's added a couple of moves to his repertoire. Mostly his weapon of mass destruction, he calls it, is basically a punch to the face.
Okay.
And now he wears camo.
Really?
Yes. Well, he used to just wear the singlet.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
all black. Now he's wearing a black singlet with some camo on the front and on the back.